You are listening to the Ranges Podcast.
So Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
2025. This would be the year 10 years ago that put out 9 Day.
Correct.
As we had discussed in the Bonhoeffer podcast, you guys came over for a Christmas party, and I had already been working on the melody line, the piano line that's in Night and Day. I specifically remember writing Night and Day during the NFL playoffs because I had my laptop set up in the living room, just direct line guitar into the interface, and was just writing it while watching the playoffs. I don't remember where the concept came from for Night and Day, but I'm sure it was something we discussed and just kind of snowballed into ideas and came up with the idea of writing a 24-minute song for Night and Day. And I thought that was a cool idea.
Yeah.
Try to figure out 24 minutes worth of music. And I remember sitting down and trying to figure out like the beats per minute, how fast the tempo was going to be for the song. And for whatever reason, I thought 96 felt good. And then started to figure out, okay, so it starts with night and then it goes to day right at the 12-minute mark, and it should hit right there. And kind of started laying out the structure of the song in Pro Tools at 96 beats per minute, and then did the math, and 12 goes into 96. I don't know how this works out, but it works out perfectly. A certain amount of measures, and then right at the 12-minute mark is beat one, which I thought was awesome. Like it fit in perfect. And that was just all kind of a serendipitous moment of like, oh, this is supposed to happen.
It's supposed to happen.
These are all falling exactly into line. And I remember it being really easy to write a 24-minute song.
Which I couldn't believe
reason.
With what ease you were able to do that.
Yeah.
Because
it really just fell out. And it just happened, which was cool. Early January, I'd been writing the song. And then I don't remember, which seems to be a very common thing as we try to remember recording these. I never remember recording any of these older albums.
The part that I remember of this was because I knew that there were so many sections to, go through as far as coming up with drum parts and whatnot. And then remembering that one of the sections inspired the idea to use electronic program drums.
Yeah.
So I asked you if you had Reason, because that was the only program I ever fooled around with programming drums, because it had, the drum machine, look to it, where it had the 16 notes that you could plug in, different rhythms and whatnot. So I remember I just said, can you just bring up Reason and let me fool around, and got that in there. And I really was proud of how that turned out.
Yeah, with me not knowing anything about really Reason and like the sounds that you could pull from it. Like we just found something and it worked out pretty cool.
Yeah. I was really psyched with that because I thought it would be, an element that I at least hadn't been hearing in that genre that much. But that's the part that I really remember as far as recording the live drums. I kind of just remember and probably took it section by section and went through that, never expecting to play it out, really.
So after Bonhoeffer, I think like that was the third album, and we were hoping by this time we would have gotten music placed. I mean, that was the goal of Ranges from the beginning, is like to write music to get placed into movies, films, ads, whatever. And your connection, Bob, was trying his people he knew and was pushing it to people, but we just didn't have any hits.
Right.
And so then he told you.
Yeah, he said, instead of just trying to write for, licensing and placements, just be a real band. Just be a band. And because he said that music supervisors want to discover new bands.
Right.
And use them.
Right.
And say that, they found this gem and placed it in whatever film or commercial. So he said, just be a band. And then it'll probably be easier for you to attract attention of these people.
Yeah.
So that upon that advice, I think is when we said, okay, if we're going to be a real band, that means playing out. And that means that we need some utility players.
Right.
Because there was no way we could pull that song off.
Right. Yeah. with just the three.
With just the three of us at the time.
Yeah, and two, like it's like okay, we have to play shows, but I don't know if I want to just go play the local bars.
Right.
Like, is that really what we want to do?
No.
Like, we got to make this
an event.
Yeah, like we did with Solar Mansions and the planetarium. Right. It wasn't just push play and everybody listens to the music. I mean, it were visuals and the whole planetarium experience. So when it came to Night and Day and like, all right, we need to be a real band. We need to go out and play. Like, what's that going to look like? And I don't know how we came to the idea, but we decided we would find a unique place in Bozeman to do it, which was the Masonic Temple.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got that reserved. And then, it's like, well, it can't just be us on a stage playing music for people. We got to figure out visuals and find a way to make that work. And so we cut together visuals that were projected. Let's see if I can explain this. So the room that we played in had this like archway doorway between two fairly decent sized rooms.
Mm-hmm.
And so we thought, well, if we could get a projector that projects to the back, in the back onto a screen that's behind us, that way there's no projector in the front, that would be really cool. So this room setup was perfect. And we found online a company that makes projection screens that are good for projecting from behind. So we bought a huge screen and then put together PVC pipe to like build a frame to attach the screen to that would sit in between the two rooms on that like archway, and then put the projector behind that so nobody could see it. And then there was curtains that covered it up. So there was two bands that played before us that we had closed it so nobody knew it was there. So we had done visuals and had this whole thing planned out to like pull the curtains back and like have this really cool visual behind us. And so in doing that, it had to match up with music.
Yep.
And so then it was figuring out, okay, how do we make that work? And that was really the beginning of, well, we're going to play live to a click.
Right.
Which you were all about, which some drummers aren't, which was kind of nice that you wanted to do it.
Yeah.
So then it was, okay, we got to build out a click track. We've got piano parts and we've got other guitar parts, and like we got to find players to play those because we don't want it to just be the three of us on stage.
Right.
So that was something we need to figure out. And we figured we could put the piano in the backing track with the click. So we did that, and you sync that up to the video. So that way changes in the video happen on hits and stuff. And that was important.
Mm-hmm.
So we pieced that all together. Yeah. And then came to figuring out, okay, who do we want to join the band to play live with us? Did you know Joey at this time?
I had met him.
So you just met him?
Yeah, I had met him a few different occasions, but around the time that we were looking to add players for the show, I had been asked to do some bar gigs, and I was asked by guys I had recently met through another band to do a weekend at Stacy's. And I was working with Ethan's brother, Matt, at Gibson, and Matt kept saying, my brother's playing Stacy's this weekend. I said, I don't know. I am. I don't. He said, no, he's playing. I was like, I thought it was these other guys, but lo and behold, when I showed up, Ethan was the bass player.
Okay.
And we both had no idea what we were doing. So this guy, Scott, would basically just tell us, you know that tune by so-and-so? Yeah, sure. He's like, come on, it's this feel. And then we just jumped in and did it. And Joey showed up to one of those.
Oh, wow. Did you know Ethan before this?
No.
Okay, so
I
you knew
met
Matt
him
from
at
work.
the gig.
Okay, so you met.
I knew Matt.
Okay.
And then met Ethan.
Funny, and Joey was at
and
that.
Joey came to see one of the nights that we were playing.
Because Joey knew Ethan.
Yep.
Not you at the time.
I mean, he
loosely
knew me
Okay.
through you.
Right. Yeah, because Joey had moved to Seattle to do music and then he moved back to Bozeman and reached out to me. So I met up with him and we started a friendship, and he started coming to this Word is Weapon shows, which is cool. And then eventually he joined that band. And then that band stopped, and then we started another band called Destroy the Map, and that fizzled out. And then I think you moved in to Bozeman, and Joey was just kind of a part of stuff here and there. And then we started Ranges, and I remember the Solar Mansions show, the Planetarium show, he came to that because he was still a good friend, and he had made the comment that it was the best sounding album he'd ever heard from a Montana band, which I thought was a cool compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, he was just a close friend at the time. And so for me, it made sense to have him play guitar and when we played live.
Yeah.
So, and then he knew Ethan, so he knew a bass player. And then I didn't know that you were going to then connect with Ethan playing live, which is cool.
Yeah.
So that made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Mario,
yeah. Had been playing in bands in Bozeman for a while, had recorded his band, played shows with his bands. Really good guitar player, good musician. So I don't remember reaching out to him, but we reached out to him.
Either you or Wilson did.
Yeah. Because there were at least 3 guitar parts in the Night and Day song. So we needed 3 guitars. So he was down to do it. So then we set up practice space for the first time ever.
God, yeah, upstairs.
Upstairs in my house. And would have practice probably once a week.
Yeah.
Get everybody in, and everybody would have to wear headphones so they have the click and vocal cues and stuff like that to kind of help you through the song. Because it's 24 minutes and trying to teach
a lot to memorize
new songs. It made sense to have cues. Yeah, we just hammered on that for most of the first half of the year.
Yeah.
Leading up to the show in July.
Yep.
Yeah, so then the Masonic Temple, we started setting up the night or two before, getting it all ready to go. We had access to it early, which was cool. And the Mario in his band, he had a 2 light towers. Do you remember the light towers?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we were thinking like, oh, it'd be cool to have some lights, and they were just on-off foot switch that he would turn them on or off with. I was like, yeah, well, let's do that right at the 12-minute mark where it switches into day.
Oh, right.
He'll just punch those on.
Yeah.
And it was super cool. And this was the moment for me. It was Mario building his own lights and having them rigged up and to just turn on off. And then it clicked in my mind. It's like, okay, lights are going to be an important part of what we do moving forward.
Right.
Like, I need to figure this out. So we'll get more into that down the road as we talk about the next albums, because the light show became a big part of what we did.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'd set up the space for the show, and then in conjunction with the live show, we thought, let's also do an art show, and let's give this Night and Day concept to local artists and have them just make an art piece that's Night and Day, whatever their interpretation of it was. So downstairs from the venue, there was a
little gallery.
Yeah, an art gallery. And so there was a handful of artists that did pieces, and we set up an art show, which was pretty cool. So before the actual show, the art show would open up, and people who are coming to the music show would go to the art show and check it all out.
Right.
Which was cool.
Yeah.
There's some cool pieces, and it was just a unique way to involve more artists in the community.
Yeah, it was a cultural evening, to expose a lot of what was going on locally.
Yeah.
But to have that common theme was cool.
Yeah, so it's the night of the show, and we had been selling tickets at Cactus Records, which is just across the street. They were selling tickets for us, which was cool. I don't remember how many people came, but there was a decent crowd.
Yeah, I felt like there was, 100.
Yeah, probably something like that. Yeah, we had, I think with Bridger Brewing, they had a beer available and sidecar.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you have a venue that doesn't provide alcohol, you need to hire.
Yeah. Because it wasn't even a venue.
No.
It was just a Masonic Temple hall
that allowed us to use it.
Yeah. Yeah. So we had beer available. We'd printed a bunch of merch, shirts, posters, had that all set up. Just really went all out trying to make it not just a local show, like really trying to make it an experience.
We didn't even have a hard copy of the song though, right?
No, we did. We had 2 other... That's another thing. Along with the art show, we had 2 other bands, local bands.
Oh, right.
Modern Sons
you recorded them.
Yeah.
And Live.
Live, yeah. So 2 other local bands, and we said, we're writing a song called Night and Day. Will you write a song or an album about Night and Day as well? We'll record that, and we'll release it as this compilation CD where it's got all the music from all 3 bands on it. And then you'll play those songs live. It'll just be, the night is just about Night and Day. It's just that concept, which is actually a really cool idea.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to, just with the resources every band has at this level, like, it's hard to pull it off. We pulled it off, but it was a big ask for another band. Like, hey, you got 6 months, write this album. And they did it, and I recorded it for free, and it was part of the deal, and it was cool. So yeah, there was the CDs with all the music on it.
That's right.
Yeah, which we sold a few, but it was a tough sell.
Yeah.
I remember the changeover music between sets, like the music that plays in the venue. I had curated that to only be music that was related to Night and Day. So I don't remember the songs, but
oh wow,
any song that was related to Night and Day, that was what was on it.
I don't remember that,
Yeah.
but
Just trying to make every single aspect of it related to the concept. So people showed up. The first 2 bands played, went good. And then also we had hoodies. Do you remember the hoodies?
God, I remember.
Yeah. So we had hoodies that were, there's 6 of us?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 of us. So we printed 6 hoodies just for the band with fur on the hood.
Yep.
And specific night and day printing on it. It was just us. And we all wore those.
The logo over here and then something on the back.
Yeah.
I might still have mine.
Yeah, I got rid of mine. And I remember not being super excited about that. I thought it was kind of weird.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't into it.
I loved it.
Yeah. I did it, and I thought we were all going to wear our hoods the whole show, and I was the only one that did, and I was so sweaty. It was just pouring sweat.
Did I knock mine down?
You must. I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't remember.
I thought everybody was going to wear a hood. It was going to be cool. So anyways, our turn to play. We've got our hoodies on. We're in that back room with the projector that's kind of behind the stage. And we push play because we'd sync the video to the backing track. We push play, and there's like a minute's worth of intro. And so it was like push play, and we got to walk around, get on stage, and play because it's one of those things where you push play and you go.
Yeah.
And you can't stop.
No.
This is the first time. I mean, we've practiced it and it worked. And this was the first time doing it live. So
yeah.
I remember being really nervous.
I probably was.
Because it's like, I don't want to screw this up.
No.
Because if you get off even by a beat, it's all off. The piano's off. And luckily, you're really good with the click. And because it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
Every show we've ever played has had that backing track and that click, and we have never screwed that up once. Even in like the biggest stages and high pressure, like you've always nailed it. It's pretty remarkable.
Well, it's something that I told you about learning that it's really important as a drummer to have great time.
Right.
And in order to have great time, you need to be able to play along to a click.
Yeah.
Have to.
Right.
And I mean, otherwise you're an engineer's nightmare.
Right.
Could you imagine if I couldn't do that?
No, I couldn't edit anything.
Yeah. It'd be a mess.
Yeah. And the synths and the keys and all the layers that we add into our music. I mean, there's tracks upon tracks of that stuff in our music.
Yeah.
And has been that way for a while. And it's just like our songs will not be the same without that stuff.
No.
And it's just become our sound. And so it's nice that we started with the click. We started with that structure to just be able to add the stuff in and not have to actually play that stuff live.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool. It's cool to hear people say, you guys sound just like your recordings. It's like, sweet. That's the goal. Like, I want the live show to have more energy and a little bit more rawness, but still to be like the albums. I think that's a cool thing to have.
Right.
Yeah. So we get on stage, we start playing night and day, and it's going well. Like, everything's good, and it went well. People were engaged, and I remember there was one moment towards the end where I don't know what happened with Joey's amp, but it like turned off or something, and it was right before a part where it's just him playing.
Oh shit!
And I caught it and I heard it, and thankfully I'd written the song, so I knew the part, and I jumped in and played his part until he was back.
That's right.
Yeah, and it worked out perfect.
I remember that. Yeah, that was good.
And 24 minutes, show's over.
Yeah.
It's the shortest set we've ever played.
Yeah.
And I remember people being like, wait, that's it? It's like, I never really thought about how short that is.
Yeah, I know. And I think because we had the art show, the other bands, the whole theme. It's just a whole theme. So it's not like, we're going to see a Ranges show and they're the headliners, so you're expecting an hour and a half of music or whatever.
Right.
Or an hour.
Yeah. So we wrapped the show up. We finished the show, mission accomplished. And then I remember we had to take everything down that night, take down the giant screen that was duct taped together to the PVC pipes. Take it all down. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, you made the screen.
Yeah. And then I specifically remember going to Perkins after the show.
Did we all go?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all went to Perkins. That was always a spot in college in our bands that after band practice or after shows, we'd always go to Perkins. It doesn't exist anymore here.
Yeah, it was the only late night food.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but we would always go eat there. So it was fun to go there doing the night and day show, and then, I don't know, sit around and talk about it. And like, we did it. Now what?
Yeah, now what?
Yeah. We'd released the album that same day. So we had hired some videographers to shoot the show, and so we'd have video to cut together. So after the show, we'd cut together a music video of the performance. We put that out, and then really started pushing the whole night and day thing to blogs And I don't know if you remember the Niall Saunders guy. I can't remember the name of his blog, but he's in Washington, D.C., reached out to him. He was all about it, wrote a really nice review of the album, which was really cool. And then it was at this time, too, where I had reached out to Will Not Fade and Joseph Bagans and kind of connected with him. And he loved Night and Day, and I'd written a review about it. And he and I started having a back and forth on Twitter. Yeah, I have emails August 13th, 2015 between me and Joseph.
Wow.
But this was the moment where we connected with Joseph.
Wow.
Who, 10 years later is part of the band.
Oh, totally.
If you ask me.
Yeah.
And I really like that. To me, this was the moment where he was the first real outside connection into the greater post-rock world.
Yep.
And so, that's kind of what I'd been searching for, trying to find somebody. And he was the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think through like the Niall Saunders and the Joseph James Will Not Fade blog, writing about Night and Day, writing about Ranges, and then the Foofer, Aaron Edwards, him writing about it, we finally started to get our name recognized, by other bands in the scene. So like this Patch of Sky, I can't remember some of the other bands. There's that band from Seattle,
Coastlands,
and the other one that we played with in Seattle, and then they just disappeared.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they were good.
They were super good.
Oh man.
At some point, they stopped being a band and they scrubbed everything. Like their music's just gone.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's not even online?
They scrubbed it. It's gone.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, it was cool to finally be recognized by these bands. And like, you're always looking at the other bands that you're discovering and seeing what they're doing and like trying to connect with them to, maybe someday we'll play a show. And you're just trying to get your brand out there, get your name out there and build the thing.
Right.
And Night and Day really was the moment where we played live and now we were starting to get out there. It like circling back to what Bob said, it's like be a real band. And he was right. Like that was probably the best advice that we've gotten, is just be a real band.
Yeah.
Because we never would have done any of the things that we've done if we hadn't decided to be a real band.
No. God, now that you put it like that, could you imagine not having played the places in the world we've played because we just wanted to be a studio project?
I know. We're sitting in the studio right now and there's posters of almost every show we've ever played, every tour we've done.
Yep.
And none of these would have existed if we would have just stuck to being a studio band.
Yep.
If you've enjoyed this podcast, subscribe to the Ranges Patreon to hear more episodes.